So, how did your production skills develop throughout this project?
Okay, so now I want to start with the beginning. One of the first things I learned during media class was camera framing and composition. I remember one of our earliest activities was going around the college campus, taking photos using different camera angles and shot types. And my biggest problem was always headspace. I used to leave a way too much space above the subject's head without even realizing it, because before media studies, I mostly took casual photos and would never really focus on professional framing. But my teacher kept correcting me on it, and over time, I started understanding how important composition is in making shots look cinematic and intentional. Looking back at my final opening, I can definitely see how much my framing improved compared to my earlier practice shows. Another major skill I developed was understanding lighting, especially low key lighting used in thrillers. Filming at night was honestly one of the hardest parts of the entire project, because I only had one professional light source available, and at first, the lighting looked way too harsh and bright instead of mysterious. Then my original filming location actually had to be changed because there were strong streetlights everywhere, which completely ruined the shadows and suspenseful atmosphere I wanted. I also realized the location didn't feel safe enough to film at night as two girls alone, so changing the locations ended up helping both creatively and practically. Since I didn't have professional softbox equipment, I had to improvise by using butter paper over the light to soften it and to create a more controlled shadows. And that honestly taught me a lot about problem solving during production, because I learned that filmmaking is not always about having the best equipment, but about creatively adapting to challenges and still achieving the effect you want. Then I also developed my understanding of thriller conventions throughout this project. At first, I thought thrillers depended mostly on dramatic action or violence, but while filming and reviewing my footage, I not realized psychological suspense was actually much more effective. I noticed that the scenes using shadows, silent tension, and slow suspense building felt far more unsettling than scenes that relied on obvious violence. That completely changed how I approached my opening. For example, one technique I became more confident with was handheld camera work. During the scenes where the girl realizes she is being followed, I intentionally switched from smoother shots to handheld movement because I wanted the audience to feel her panic and instability. The imperfect movement made this scene feel more realistic and emotionally intense. And I think that was one of the moments where I started understanding how camera movements can reflect a character's emotions. Another challenge I faced was continuity. While filming, the clips looked fine individually, but when I started putting the sequence together, some shots felt disconnected and awkward. That made me realize how important planning and pacing are in a film production. I solved this by slowing down certain moments and using fewer transitions to create a more continuous and suspenseful atmosphere. Furtherly, I also developed confidence in directing performance and emotion. Since the actor was one of my friends, it was initially difficult to stay serious during filming because we kept on laughing and breaking character. However, as filming continued, I became more focused on directing expressions, fear, and body language realistically so the tension would feel believable to the audience. A lot of my original ideas also changed in production. My actors changed, my location changed, and even my ending changed. Originally, the opening ending ended immediately after the confrontation scene with the knife, but later I added the final scene. Showing the stalker sitting in darkness watching a news board about the missing girl. I think adding that scene made the opening feel more complete and psychologically disturbing, while also extending the suspense beyond the immediate attack. And then the scene I'm most proud of technically is the sequence when the girl notices the stalker, starts running, and eventually falls. That scene was difficult because I want to feel chaotic and realistic while still being visually effective. I used a POV style angle during parts of the chase to make audiences feel more involved in fear and tension. And I'm proud that the final result matched the atmosphere I originally imagined. So, overall, this project helped me develop not only technical production skills like framing, lighting, and camera work, but also creative skills like suspense building, problem solving, and understanding how to emotionally engage audiences through the film language.